Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Kevin. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a great day. As you guys can see, Mikkel is not in this video with me. Mikkel will be in a video with me later on tonight. I decided to do the Surviving R. Kelly review by myself because Mikkel decided that he did not want to watch the documentary and I didn't want to talk about the documentary and he didn't see it. So I would rather me just, talk about what I saw by myself. But again, Mikkel will be back with me later on tonight for a new video for you guys. So over the weekend I had a chance to watch the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. I was basically tweeting with everyone on Thursday night. Now, with me tweeting and watching the documentary, I felt like I didn't learn nothing because I was so busy tweeting and replying to text messages while it was on in the background, and I just I have to watch this again. Now let's keep in mind, I'm not going to really get into episode 6 of this docuseries. It's basically going to be 1 through 5, and I'm not going to be long. I'm not going to be all day. It might be over the place. I'm going to try to keep it together because I took notes. I have 4 pages of notes, and I need to get this shit together. Hold up, because I done mixed them around. I don't know what I had on top. Hold up, okay, all right, bam, bam, okay, hold up, I done messed up. Okay, here we go, bam, bam, okay, all right. Now I got it together. If you're watching me for the first time, or watching this channel for the first time, please subscribe. To everyone watching, please click the like button. And for all those who watched the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, or if you didn't watch the documentary but you're going around watching reviews, please leave your comment down below in the comment section. I can't wait to read the comment section because I know a lot of people watched it and a lot of people have their opinions on this documentary. Now, first, let's get this out the way. The only thing I did not like about the documentary was the whole Aaliyah section. Mainly with the girl Javante Cunningham, just explaining like she saw Aaliyah having sex and stuff like that. I just felt like if you were her friend, you should have got permission from her family to talk about that. Now I know a lot of people didn't agree with me and a lot of people did agree with me, but that was just my opinion. Talking about everything else I was okay with, but just saying like, yes, he did this. And then you had Aaliyah's mom saying she don't know the girl. But then again, she said that they would sneak Aaliyah off and stuff like that. And then when you seen that Aaliyah had got married to R. Kelly, it was just like, girl, well, where were y'all? What was going on? So, yeah, I just had to get that part out the way. So the documentary, part 1, it starts off with everyone, the brothers talking, R. Kelly's brothers talking about how they grew up, how they came from a musical family, how their mom was, a gospel singer in church, and, she was their inspiration. And then we found out, I'm going through this kind of fast, I'm going through my notes. We found out that they really didn't have like a hard upbringing, but, they had difficulties and stuff like that. R. Kelly grew up, didn't know, it's still in his adult life. He still struggles with reading and writing, and his brother Bruce, who I despise, was telling the story about how R. Kelly was in the bathroom crying because he couldn't read, and he was teased and things like that. And then we found out that as children, R. Kelly was molested between the ages of 7 to 14, and his younger brother Carrie, he was molested around 6, and he tried to confide in his brother that he was being molested, and R. Kelly did not believe him. But I hear that there's a whole backstory to this. My nephews was telling me that the brother Carrie has an interview, but I said I don't want to watch the interview because I don't want that to fog up my thoughts of this documentary. I want to talk about specifically what was told on this documentary, or docuseries. I'm gonna say documentary. What was told. So then we meet the school teacher, and she was talking about how gifted R. Kelly was and how sexualized his songs were, and she really wanted him to tone it down. And then we meet a girl named Javante Cunningham, who was 14, and she was a background singer and things like that. Basically, She told a lot of what she saw. We don't know anything, if anything ever happened to her. And she did not share that with us, so I'm assuming that nothing happened to her because she did not share anything of that nature of someone doing anything to her that was inappropriate. But what she was saying was that, you know, she met R. Kelly at 14. She was singing background vocals for him. There was a time when R. Kelly would meet up at McDonald's in Hyde Park and meet up with young girls, and she would be one of the girls that would recruit young girls for R. Kelly to meet with. And one day she saw one of the girls having sex with R. Kelly in the booth, and then they started talking about the Aaliyah section, where I just got to get through this. And then where Aaliyah was 12 years old, she met R. Kelly through her uncle Barry Hankerson. I believe that was like Blackground Records or something like that. And she was, you know, Javante was saying the story of how she would sneak Aaliyah out the hotel and take her different places. And, you know, she was just giving y'all the background story of how they were friends and how they were connected. So then we see on the on the screen this manager named Demetrius Smith, another person I despise. He was complicit with everything that R. Kelly was doing, and then wanting to tell his story. What made me mad, and I just have to say this, a lot of the people knew what the fuck was going on, and nobody did nothing to stop it. Everybody was around for the ride because their pockets were getting full with money. So he was talking about how he thought something was going on with Aaliyah, but he had to ask R. Kelly, and R. Kelly told him, hell no, I ain't doing nothing like that. And then we found out later on what he found out, and I'm gonna tell y'all. So, you know, they doing their little talk about Aaliyah and R. Kelly and Big Les. I haven't seen Big Les in a long time, but she looks good and she still looks young. And she was just talking about how she went there and asked the question, and how Aaliyah was saying that they were best friends and stuff like that on the couch. And then we found out from Javante that R. Kelly was having sex with Aaliyah on the tour bus. She really didn't say like what age it was or anything like that, but whatever the age was, Aaliyah was still underage and it was still wrong. And basically nobody did nothing, or nobody said nothing. We didn't find this out until this documentary about what happened on the tour bus. I've never heard anything like that. The only thing that I've ever known about Aaliyah and R. Kelly is about how he married her and how the marriage license was forged. And you know, as kids, you would hear all kinds of rumors and stuff. There's a bunch of rumors, but this one was actually true. You know, we could talk about all the black market rumors as children that you would hear. And some of it actually turned out to be true and some weren't true. But this was something that was true. And then we found out the backstory through Demetrius Smith, who was saying how he had forged the documents for Aaliyah and R. Kelly to get married, how he was there when they got married. I was trying to find out what was so funny about this situation. Because he's sitting there talking and laughing like, yeah, bitch, this is not funny. This is a grown-ass man marrying a child, and you went along with on the ride for it. You know, they talked about how MTV News had found the documents and stuff, and they published the documents. And then, like, maybe like a year or so later, the whole marriage thing was annulled. And then we seen that Aaliyah's family took a $100 payment to not say anything about this. I'm just hoping that that part was not true. $100 for your silence. You know, it just makes you wonder, like, what was really going on. If Aaliyah's parents weren't there, then I'm assuming that her uncle was there. And what did the uncle know? And who was really it really all just sounds fucked up right now with the whole Aaliyah situation with R. Kelly, and it's very embarrassing. And I don't think the family want to discuss what they knew and when they knew, because then we will probably look at them and say, you guys were complicit in this too. Why didn't you guys speak out against R. Kelly when your daughter, who was 15 at the time, married R. Kelly? Why didn't y'all say anything? $100? $100, I don't even believe that. I really don't believe that. Not in the 90s. You're not just giving somebody $100 and they're shutting up. $100 wasn't even, like, come on. I don't believe that part. I'm finding that part hard to believe. But it was still, like, so shocking. Like, it's just nasty. It's nasty. So, you know, that was basically the end of part one. At the end of part one, we met a girl named Lisette Martinez, and she was talking about how she was at the mall and she met R. Kelly. And a pattern that I'm noticing is a lot of these young girls, they could sing or they was looking for a career, and you know, R. Kelly really used that, his power, against these young women. So with Lisette, she was just saying how, you know, she would have sex with R. Kelly, meet up with R. Kelly. She talked about how she got pregnant and she told R. Kelly she was pregnant and she lost a child. And, you know, I can never look at the song You Are Not Alone Again the same, because at this part, this is where she talked about how You Are Not Alone was written about her. And, you know, that was my song. I believe that was like 1995. You and I, that was my song. I can never look at that song the same again, knowing that this is about a song that R. Kelly impregnated and she lost a child. It's just, this is just shocking. We found out, you know, that R. Kelly, like, basically we're not finding out, but R. Kelly is a very sexual person, and we loved R. Kelly music. Let's not say that we didn't like it. We loved his music, but a lot of the things that he was doing, he put it in the song. And even one of the titles of the episode was Hiding in Plain Sight. And that was a lot of what R. Kelly was doing, hiding in plain sight, and we had no idea that he was doing these things. And, you know, they were talking about how, why wasn't this big news when R. Kelly married Aaliyah? He was 27, she was 15. Why wasn't this big news at the time? And the main thing was that people don't care about young black girls. That's why it wasn't a big thing. And it's believable. It's very believable. It's true. Because this was a young white girl. We would hear all about this. You know, it's just sad. So then let me tell y'all something. So we get to episode 2. This is where I have in my notes, Bruce Kelly, trash. That motherfucker is trash. Whatever he's in jail for, he needs to be there for life. I don't give a fuck what it was. He just needs to be just locked up, because he's not a person that needs to be walking the streets. His mindset is so fucked up. And what fucked me up, because in the beginning of the episode 2, he's talking about, I like older women. R. Kelly like younger women. It's a fucking preference. You know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a preference. No. It's not bad that you like young girls. But you need to like young girls who are adults. I could see if a girl was like 20, 21. But when you are 30-something and you're messing with teenage girls, and when I say teenage girls, I'm talking like 13 to 15, you have a fucking problem and you are sick. And we know that a lot of older people like to date younger people because they like power and they like to control them. And when you're young, you could be blinded by so many things. Oh, he bought me this, he bought me that, he gave me this, he gave me that. It's so much that when you're young, your mind is not even fully developed. You think that, oh, this person loves me and he does this, so I'm going to do this. It's just all fucked up. And R. Kelly had a way with brainwashing all of these young women. I don't care how old they were. He brainwashed a lot of these women. And that's just sick. And I was done with Bruce when he said that. And I'm glad that it took a while before we saw his ass again on the episodes. So we heard about Lisette passing out. She was drunk, and you know, she got drunk for the first time at that young age, and she lost her virginity to R. Kelly. Oh my God, that's so horrible when you lose your virginity to somebody because you were drunk and passed out. That's not how you want to lose your virginity to anybody. But that's how she lost her virginity. And she was just saying how she felt like a sexual object. And she also said that it was time for her to leave R. Kelly once she became paralyzed. And I don't know what it was from or don't remember, but I think it had to be from abuse, physical abuse. I know she talked about him slapping her, but he only paid her mom $1,000 for her silence. $1,000. And we're talking about one of the world's biggest superstars, and he only paying you off $1,000. So this is when we meet Andrea Kelly. Oh, I'm just sick talking about this stuff. We meet Andrea Kelly. Andrea Kelly is his wife. The only wife we know of R. Kelly. She married R. Kelly. In the beginning, she was just saying how basically everything was sunshine and rainbows. He had his issues. She had her issues. But she really wanted to work with Rob to help him with his issues. So she was saying like, oh, the walls was down. She said, bitch, I got it in my notes. The walls was down to the studs. They broke the walls down to the studs. That's how much she was able to break down the walls on R. Kelly. And how she never seen this side of R. Kelly, you know, this evil side, because everything was so perfect. And then she went on to describe how the dancers couldn't be around the band, and the band couldn't be around the artist. Nobody couldn't be around each other. And she was saying like everything was in a single file line. And this is when we find out that, you know, everybody basically was isolated from each other, which I just said. But Andrea was isolated from everyone once she got with R. Kelly. And that they had eloped. She didn't get the marriage that she wanted. Like, basically they went down to the courthouse, got married, and that was that. She didn't have a life since. Nobody could speak to her. She was locked up in rooms and stuff like that. And this is where we meet Sparkle on this document. We know Sparkle, Be Careful. That was my song. That was our song. What, 97, 98, whatever year, that was our song. We know that fucking song. So, you know, we infamously known Sparkle from Yeah Girl. That was her niece on the tape. But I was really glad to hear her side of the story. And I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about that. So we meet Sparkle. Sparkle say, yeah, I'm the background singer. You know, I was doing this, I was doing that. We also found out that she was friends with Javante, the 14-year-old girl. You know, she's seen a lot, but nothing happened to her. But she's seen a lot. And, you know, they was family and stuff like that. They was friends. And Sparkle went on to talk about how Andrea was knocking on the door. And, you know, while they was watching the basketball game. And she like, y'all don't hear that shit? And, you know, that's when she seen that Andrea was asking like, oh, can I get something to eat? And she was saying like, you know, R. Kelly was a mentor. He was a genius. He was family. He was also controlling. And she said nobody could speak to her. What I like about Sparkle in this, basically, Sparkle was very defiant. Sparkle was like, you ain't going to tell me who I can and can't speak to. You could tell me I can't speak to them, but I'm going to speak to these motherfuckers. They might not speak back, but I'm going to speak to them. So, Sparkle goes on to say that, you know, R. Kelly was helping her with her career. And at that time, her niece, but she was saying like, my niece was the baddest bitch out here, the baddest rapper. She was Bow Wow when Bow Wow was hot. And I know Bow Wow was hot with Sparkle, because Sparkle really burnt Bow Wow. So I'm like, okay. So she was like, you know, she introduced her niece to R. Kelly. She was 12. And she said she really wanted him to help her niece. All right. She wanted him to help her niece. Now, I don't know what year this was, but if you knew R. Kelly had that track record with Aaliyah and him getting married, you shouldn't be wanting to introduce your niece to R. Kelly. But R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly, all of these hits, all of these songs, he was writing for other people. Maybe he could help her niece, and her niece wanted to meet R. Kelly. Okay. So she said the niece better. Then she was saying like how she went to the studio and saw that her niece was at the studio. And she like, what the hell are you doing at this studio? oh, there's a Christmas party going on and R. Kelly picked me up and there was going to be other kids there and stuff like that. Excuse me. So, you know, Sparkle let it be known that she was never down for this anyway. And I know that a lot of people was coming out at Sparkle. Oh, you sacrificed your niece. Oh, you knew this and oh, you knew that. Okay. I'm going to say this. Ultimately, though, I put it down to the parents. Because Sparkle not saying, okay, yeah, you can meet with R. Kelly. Those parents, why would you let your 12-year-old daughter meet with or go with R. Kelly to the studio by herself without even Sparkle being there? That don't make no sense at all. That the 12-year-old niece is just hanging around with R. Kelly by herself in the studio. So let me see what this going on. Yeah. Alright, so after that part, we meet Lisa Van Allen. Lisa Van Allen is basically the one that was in a sex tape with Sparkle's niece. She slept with Sparkle's niece. She didn't know that Sparkle's niece was 14 at the time. But she told her whole story. She was 17. She met him at a video shoot. He was like, girl, come back to the tour bus. On the tour bus, she had sex with him. She didn't know how to say no because it's fucking R. Kelly, the power thing. And they was doing threesomes. Oh, I don't even like talking like this. They was doing so much, basically. They was doing a lot. So what happened was, you know how R. Kelly likes everyone isolated. He doesn't like people to speak with each other. They speaking. No, she speaks to the young girl. I think I'm skipping ahead, but I'm okay with that. Because I don't want to spend like every weekend moment. So she was like, she talked to the girl and she found out that the girl, she said, yeah, I'm about to be 16. So that means the girl was 15. So at the time they was doing this stuff with R. Kelly on tape, R. Kelly would tape them. R. Kelly liked to tape people. She was 14 at the time. And, you know, they was just doing a whole lot of stuff. And the girl, Lisa, she was like, I'm really disgusted that I was doing this with somebody younger, you know. So she went on to describe how, let me go. So she went on to describe how she was crying on videotape and how R. Kelly was upset with her, not because she was crying, but because she was fucking up the video, because she was crying and he couldn't go back and watch these videos when I guess whenever he wanted to satisfy or relieve himself. So she said that there was a time when R. Kelly was together, she went in the bags and she took one of the tapes and she gave the tape to somebody else. Oh my God. Once she gave that tape to somebody else, this person began to make copies of this video. She said that, she befriended the artist she gave the tape to. She wanted the tapes back. This person made copies. They had took a lie detector test. She passed. He didn't pass. He paid for what? He paid for some of the tapes to get back, for some of the copies. But if you make it, you can pay somebody to give you back copies, but there's no telling how many copies was made. And, you know, she was crying because she thought that she would be killed because of these tapes getting out. So, this is just, I could keep saying it's sad, it's horrific, it's disgusting, it's all of those things. It is all of those things. And this, we talking 20 years ago. And what went on here is that money can silence a lot of people. Money can make a lot of people feel like they're in the bird box with the fucking blindfold on. You don't see nothing, you don't hear nothing, and you ain't saying nothing. As long as that money keep you silent. And for these young girls have to live with this for the rest of their lives on how they were abused by R. Kelly. And what makes it even more horrible is that when you find out about this 14-year-old child on tape with R. Kelly, how the parents, how they were still working with R. Kelly. How they, because I don't even want to go through all of these notes. I don't. How you find out that, okay, your child is on tape. How you find out your child is on tape and you get up there and testify and say, oh, that's not my child. You get the young girl to say, oh, that's not me on that tape. Money can just buy anybody if it's the right amount. And the way R. Kelly was paying these people, it couldn't have been a lot of money. Because if he paid $100 for Aaliyah's family silence and $1,000 for Lisette's family silence, he couldn't have paid this 14-year-old girl family. He couldn't have paid them that much. And then this family is still working with R. Kelly on albums. And they showed it on the TV. The albums that, you know, this guy, Greg Lanfear, what he was doing. They tried to pay Sparkle off. Sparkle, again, the defiant one. No, this is my niece. This is R. Kelly on this tape. And she said she was estranged from her family for so long. Why was she estranged from her family? Because she went on and said, yes, that's my niece. And we found out, Sparkle found out about this tape because the Chicago newspaper, I believe it's called the Sun-Times, they was hearing stories about R. Kelly. They was hearing all kinds of rumors, and they was printing these stories like, anybody got any proof, you know, holler at us. And they got a videotape, and then they got a fax with who the person is on this tape. They call Sparkle. Sparkle come up to the newspaper, and that's her niece on that tape. You know, they contacted the police. So many years go by. You know, R. Kelly also was arrested for child pornography images that he had on his camera. But because they were illegally seized, there was nothing that the Florida police could do to sue lock him up. So every time you get close to R. Kelly or get close to arresting him, he either gets off or you can't. It was something illegal that the police department did, or you know, these girls are of age, so it's nothing that you can do. And basically, he's just become like, oh, you can't catch me. It's catch me if you can, and no one has been able to catch R. Kelly. But where you can catch R. Kelly is in his pocketbooks. You can catch him by getting his shows canceled. You can catch him by muting him on the radio, muting his music videos from being played, muting him from not being able to stream his music. That's how you fuck with his pockets. And you know, I'm one of the people that I really feel bad for Sparkle, because her career suffered because she was the one that was willing to say R. Kelly did this to my niece, and how the family was saying that that wasn't their niece. And then everyone keeps saying, oh, I don't know why, I don't know what happened. It's point blank. R. Kelly paid this family off to shut the fuck up. But how can you, as a father or as a father-in-law, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but if that's his daughter, how can you as a father be okay with someone having sex with your child, paying you off, and you still working with this man on the music? You still working on his music. You ain't shit. You are trash right along with this brother of R. Kelly named Bruce. You are trash. You are trash. So I really feel sorry for Sparkle. But you know what I also say? Sparkle also knew R. Kelly wasn't shit. She knew this man wasn't shit. That's why you wanted to protect your niece. You wanted her to meet R. Kelly, but you also wanted to protect her at the same time. But there were times where you couldn't be there and she was with him. I just feel like everybody played a role in this, but I do feel sorry for her. Because the family ain't shit. The whole, like, R. Kelly, basically it seemed like, even though it's not this way, but it seemed like, yeah, R. Kelly fucked with the niece because Sparkle was so defiant. She spoke when she shouldn't have spoke to people. She just seen a lot and she just is like, I'm going to do me. And he's like, I'm going to do your family member. And then I'm going to pay your family member off and pay them not to speak to you. I'll even pay you to say, me and you cool. And her silence cannot be bought. You know, but everybody played a whole part in this young girl and this sex tape. And even we all played a part because we still out here supporting R. Kelly. We out here buying his music, singing his music. Well, I've never been to a concert. And I bought one of his albums. I was like, I really shouldn't be buying this, but I really like the song. Love Letter. I bought that. I was one of the people that bought that album. But if y'all go back into our videos, I just be like, how can y'all work with R. Kelly knowing that he be messing with these children? Everybody was still working with R. Kelly knowing all of this. But I guess it was because, well, there was no proof. He got off in 2008 during this trial. Since he got off, oh, I can still work with R. Kelly. It's okay. And you know what? That was our culture at that time. But now we are in a whole different movement with this Me Too situation. Everybody is coming out the woodwork and everybody is saying something. And right now it might seem like, oh, R. Kelly is being the one who's being crucified, but R. Kelly will not be the only one. There will probably be a surviving Harvey Weinstein, surviving Bill Cosby, surviving everybody, all of these people. And I'm glad that people are using their voice to speak up because they're tired of carrying that when they're back and they're tired of not being believed. This industry, a lot of people want this industry. They want the money, they want the fame. They want so much that go along in this industry. And they're willing to do anything. And they're willing to sacrifice their bodies and all of that for fame. But I'm glad that there were people who said no. And because they said no, they had to sacrifice their work in this industry because they said no. Because they wouldn't suck someone's dick. Because they wouldn't fuck somebody. Because they wouldn't have sex with another woman. You know, or they went along with it because they had to sacrifice themselves because this is what they really wanted to do. And because this is what they really wanted to do, they had to do that stuff. And no one should have to do that to be in any type of industry. That shouldn't happen to anybody. So Sparkle career suffered. We ain't hear her, we ain't seen from her again. Like, I ain't meet Sparkle until like, this is when I was like hanging around Tamar and Sparkle was there. And then I was like, oh, so Sparkle was on tour with Toni Braxton at one time. Or in Vegas with Toni Braxton. I guess that's how they became cool. But from when I remember meeting her, she was cool. I never talked to her about no R. Kelly stuff. I never talked to her about that stuff. But I remember her being a nice lady. You know, that's all I know. But I'm glad that she was defiant, and I'm glad that she wasn't bought by R. Kelly or his people. And then it's just, you hear more stories of Andrea Kelly. I feel like, okay, she might not have known stuff. Oh, but bitch, you knew a lot of stuff that was going on. Let's not act like, okay, I'm trapped in the closet, and you don't know nothing at all. You don't know that R. Kelly is fucking all of these girls. You just don't know, absolutely know nothing. You don't know nothing. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I do believe that she was trapped. But I do believe that there was also a way for her to get out of that situation. She kept having kids with him. I believe she got 5 kids with R. Kelly. There's a way to get out. I believe there's a way for everybody to get out of a situation. You can't just get out right away. Even though we all say, get out. If that was me. But you know what? Until them shoes are on your feet, you don't know what you would do. You really don't know. You can think that's what you're going to do, but you also got to think ahead. Well, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to support my children. But that don't mean you have to stay in that situation. You know, she chose to stay in that situation with R. Kelly. To me, you had many ways and plenty of opportunities to get out. Once you found out, when you said you fainted, when you found out about these sex tapes and everything, it been time to go. He whisking you away to different cities, and you, first of all, can't nobody lock me up. I don't give a fuck. You gonna have to kill me, cause ain't nobody locking me up. You're gonna have to kill me. You're gonna have to kill me. And I know what I would do. I'm gonna have to die then, cause I just can't be in that situation. But I feel like she knew a lot of stuff. But she pacified herself. She did one of those. That's what I think she did. That's what I think she did. You know, but when we got to know her on Hollywood Exes and stuff, she's a beautiful spirit. She's a beautiful person. But I just feel like, girl, you know more than what you are saying. You know more. And yes, R. Kelly had help. All of those people that was around R. Kelly, they all trash. They're all complicit. They all need to be arrested. I wish they all could be arrested. Because y'all sat around and y'all said nothing. And y'all worked with this man for years. No, he was fucking all of these teenagers. Y'all probably was in on it too. Y'all probably was fucking some of the teenagers. But like, I just don't get like, alright, I'm going to take R. Kelly down. Put yourself down too. Apologize to these people's families for what they went through and how you helped R. Kelly. Shit not funny. That man laughing, yeah, I was even R. Kelly got married to Aaliyah, and thought it was funny. The former employee, you're a piece of trash too. You the one that didn't want to get on camera and show your face, you're trash. The parents. I feel like the parents were in on this too. Because y'all thought that, okay, my daughter gonna work with R. Kelly. You knew this stuff with R. Kelly. You knew about all of that stuff. But you were blinded by the fame. You were blinded by the money. And you played a part in this too. Because you thought that R. Kelly was going to make your daughter a star. And you sacrificed your children to be with R. Kelly for them to be a star. Y'all know what this man has been doing with people. Y'all know. Y'all heard about the trial. Y'all heard about all of that. You knew about all of that. But everybody, blind. Bird box. Everybody's a bird box around here. Everybody. What took me out also was the white man on that juror. The white juror who said, I had to write this down. He didn't believe them. The way they dressed and how they acted, that's why he didn't believe them. And mind you, he was the only juror that said that. But I wish they would have shown more of him and asked him, now with all of these stories, do you believe that this is the person that R. Kelly is? I don't think they asked the right questions with him. Excuse me. So then we meet Geronda Pace, who was 14 years old at the trial, skipping school to go to the R. Kelly trial. Where were the truant officers? Because let me tell you something. When I was 14, if I was late for school, you know who was pulling my ass over? The fucking cops. Why are you late for school? Do you know what time it is? 9 o'clock. What's your name? Where you live? Give me your ID. Where were the truant officers at the fucking courthouses? At the courthouse. Where were they? She said she was there all the time supporting R. Kelly. How was this young girl able to have conversations with R. Kelly? Was she fast? Yes. Yes. She met with R. Kelly a year later after the trial. She lied and told him she was 19. So she knew what she was doing was wrong. It's like, you want to feel bad for these people, and it's hard to feel bad too at the same time. R. Kelly is trash. He has always been trash and will remain trash. And we just have to stop listening to his music and stop supporting him. But this young girl, she lied to R. Kelly, and then, like, she lost her virginity in a horrible way to R. Kelly. And then the girls, the young girls, I just felt bad for the parents because all they want is contact with their children. This is where we see, like, the real monster side of R. Kelly in episodes 5 and 6. That's when we really seen the monster that R. Kelly really is. And I think it really upsets me because I wouldn't want this for my nieces. Somebody to take advantage of them, someone to abuse them, like physically, verbally. I wouldn't even want that done. And if there's anything that I can do as an adult, I'm going to be the one that step up and say something. One thing I don't play around with is domestic violence. Because I seen it as a child, not with my mom, but I seen it with my sister. As a child, there was nothing I could do. But I had a brother and a sister who took care of it. And only one time in my life I ever had to confront someone. And someone was like really like abusing my niece. And I said, let this be the last time. I was ready to get out the car and fight. They wouldn't let me. But I don't play those games at all. I don't play those games. We're not going to play that abuse games. I ain't see that go on with my mom. I ain't going to let it, as an adult, I'm not going to let that go on with anybody in my family. And I feel like the McClarys, they're going to kill R. Kelly if they can. The Savages, I don't know. But I really feel like the band Angelo, I really feel like if he could just put a hurting on R. Kelly and kill him, they will. So R. Kelly needs to be careful. But that was just like a whole adventure, watching the girl Dominique go back with her mom and get away from R. Kelly. We really saw the monster that R. Kelly is by locking these women up. He changed Dominique's whole appearance. From what I seen online, they said he turned her into a stud. Now, I don't know all the lesbian names, so don't judge me. I don't know all the labels. So, you know, that's what they say he turned her into. And I don't know what else he did with her. But they was just saying, like, I don't even want to talk about that. That's just bad. But this docuseries, I'm glad that it exposed R. Kelly. And we need to keep exposing more monsters who are out there. Telling women when they can pee, when they can't pee, when you can eat, when you can't eat. Not even women, just telling somebody that, period. That's just ridiculous. The girl Kitty Jones, I'm like, how the fuck you ain't never hear this tape? You ain't never see the tape. What? Even you at 31 or 33, you knew all of this shit was going on. But again, Bird Box, oh, it's going to be different. He ain't going to do that with me. I don't believe that stuff. It ain't true. He loved me and I loved him. Come on. All of these stories, and you think that you're going to change somebody or it's going to be different with you? R. Kelly's going to be like this forever. He's 52 years old. He's never going to change. And as long as he meet women who are weak-minded and he can take advantage of them, he will. And what really fucks me up is that girl that was on that tape, she is still in his life. Or at the time where Kitty talked about the tape, she's still in his life. Come on. This documentary really just, I say, keep exposing them. Keep exposing everybody who are monsters and villains in this industry. And to the women, thank you for speaking up. You may have helped so many people who have been abused and are ready to get out of those relationships, or are ready to just tell their own stories. And it's hard for people to tell stories because nobody don't want to listen, and everybody's saying, oh, this Me Too movement, oh, it was too much, and it should be too much. Because think of all the pain that people have endured for years by people, or been abused by people, and they couldn't say nothing, or if they did say something, they were told, you better not say nothing. So I applaud all those men and women who say something. And again, it's not just going to be R. Kelly. It's not just going to be him. Take down all the monsters and villains. Kevin Spacey, we just seen him the other day in court. They all are going down. And they should be. And they should be talked about. And we gotta stop sweeping this shit under the rug because it's not natural. It's not natural. I really feel bad for the people that just, you know, who don't know their own will, their own power, their own strength to get out of those relationships. I really feel bad for them. But if you have a family member in that situation, what I love is that these parents did not stop fighting to get their children back. And some of them are still fighting. You got to keep fighting to get your child back. You know, you got to do whatever you can to get your child back. Even if the cops say, oh, it's nothing that we can do anymore. You got to fight harder than that. So, yeah, this documentary, y'all, I recommend everyone to watch it and see it. You can't turn a blind eye to this stuff. We have to confront it and we have to face it, and we'll all get through this together, watching and listening to people. So I'm going to go. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary and what I had to say. I just didn't have time to go through all of those episodes. But for those who still remain silent and want to speak, I say tell somebody. And if that person don't believe you, you keep telling people until you are believed. Now, some people are like, well, what is the end result from this? I don't know. Will R. Kelly ever go to jail? I don't know. Maybe he has a victim or a new victim or recent victim that hasn't come forward that can tell their story. You know, it happened with Bill Cosby. It was almost, what, a couple days before the filing could end, and they got Bill Cosby. You just never know. But I hope that these victims can get justice for what happened to them. I really hope they do. And I'm tired of talking because I don't like the place that I'm sitting in just talking about this stuff. And it had to be discussed. A lot of people were saying you have to talk about it. And even though I didn't want to do it, I'm glad that, I won't even say I forced myself to watch it. I'm just glad that I watched it. And I want to say thank you to the person who created this documentary. And thank you to John Legend for speaking, being the only male artist to speak out against R. Kelly. You are brave to do it. And fuck everybody else who looks down on John Legend for speaking out. And I also want to say thank you to the therapist who spoke out on this documentary, because it was, and then it were like physicians of color. That was really good to see. And I'm just glad that my mindset has changed so much from maybe like 7, 8 years ago. Even going back to when we used to talk about Bishop Eddie Long, and my thought process was just totally different. That's why I say like some people can grow. And a lot of people like to pull up old tweets and old, like, people really can change. People's thought process can really change by being educated on the things that they were ignorant to. So, if you go back and look at my old videos and stuff, you will see that those were 100% my opinions. But a lot of that has changed. So, I say keep speaking out. And that's all I can say. I don't know what else to say. This is not a happy video. But later on tonight, hopefully Michaela and I can make you guys smile. Or that video just might be up tomorrow, because I really want you guys to watch this video today. I'll talk to you later.